Hi and welcome. My name is HJohnson, and I'd like to share with you a teacher toolbox that I've created that focuses on strengthening vocabulary instruction with a real focus on academic vocabulary. You're going to see a lot of examples that use the 12 power words, and the toolbox itself is an interactive poster that teachers will move through and access all the resources through the poster, which we'll take a quick look at in a moment. But first, I'd like to give you a quick overview of the resources. We'll take a look at the actual poster toolbox, and then finally we'll move through a PowerPoint that walks us through the apps and the resources with just a little bit more detail. So hang on for the ride. These are some of my favorites. I'm happy to share them with you. Some of the teacher training tools include a lesson plan that has a technology enhanced piece. It's called Picture This, student created online vocabulary flashcards. And that lesson plan comes to us from Read, Write, Think. I also created a how to make a word cloud step-by-step guide for teachers that they can access from the toolbox. Quite a few tech tools, online dictionaries, apps that I really love, some musical apps that are a lot of fun. And then I also include resources for online gaming and assessments that I have found to be very successful in my classroom. Quite a few teacher resource items and some research work. A lot of my resources come from Marzano's research, and specifically his 6-step process for teaching vocabulary. And so you'll find a lot of resources for those. There are a few videos, also some handouts, and book resources, two of my favorite books that I really pull from a lot. Using the New Horizons report, I found some emerging trends that my resources tap into. And one of the biggest one is really rethinking the roles of teachers. As schools are beginning to transition to more one-to-one models, my own school included, students are spending more time with their hands-on devices and less time with the teacher standing in front of them giving whole class instructions. And we're thinking of a different model. My students tend to move in groups, they work in stations, they're accessing multiple types of devices. And so this is really a break from the traditional classroom model that we've been used to for so many years. Also, some important developments in educational technology. Using digital strategies is one of 7 categories in the New Horizon report that emerges as a trend representing a new pathway of development. Not just using digital strategies, specifically the technology tools, but how you use the tools inside and out of the classroom as being important. And so these are some things we're going to look at. I'm going to escape out of here, try to give you just a quick look at the technology toolbox. And what you see here, I created an infographic, and then I went in and used ThingLink, and I actually attached a layer of multimedia sources that are attached to this tool. So when teachers actually access the tech toolbox, they will click on links and capture each of those resources. We're going to look at the PowerPoint now. I'll just walk you through. I'm not going to be reading every slide to you, but I just want you to take a look at it. Really, the reason why I focus on this is because we need our students to have between 6 and 12 exposures to a new word for them to really latch onto it. And so all of these strategies and tools are ways to get our students touching the words, singing the words, rapping the words, illustrating the words, typing the words. That's my goal, because the old school way of looking things up in the dictionary really just doesn't work. And what we want to do is get kids producing student-friendly definitions in their own everyday languages so they can attach better meaning to it. Here we see Marzano's 6-step process for teaching vocabulary. I'm not going to read those 6 steps to you, but every one of my tools fits into one of those steps. They're either explaining, restating, showing, reflecting, and quite a few using learning games. Again, I'm a big fan of the 12 power words. Larry Bell is an excellent presenter, and he believes these are 12 power words that we find in our assessments, our state assessments, when our students are failing because they struggle with these words. And so I've been part of a summer school program called Summer School Express. And this website will take you to some resources there, chock full of student examples using the 12 power words and integrating technology. Very many student examples. Some of the fun games that the teachers will access from the toolbox include Bingo Baker. This is an online bingo resource. It's a lot of fun. I also share with the teachers some online reference tools that show you a bigger picture of word families, and you click on them and you can enter in a vocabulary word and get a little bit more engaging definition. As far as visual displays go, I've used a lot of infographics and an interactive poster even to present the tools to the teacher as a way of modeling that to them for how they might use it in their own classwork, even if they're flipping their classroom. I really like to use infographics, you'll see. I'm a big fan. I also really like multimedia presentations, and so I provide several resources that teachers can access through the PowerPoint that's provided for them. And they're chock full of student examples and links to the pages where they can create those presentations. MoveNote is another tool with a lot of student examples that I really like. I really love using digital media and movies with my students. So I've provided some examples of living dictionaries and videos full of skits that the students have created. We also cover blogging as a resource. I provide examples of how I had my third grade students blog vocabulary words, and it was highly successful with both myself and my colleague. I provide quite a few online gaming and assessment tools, flashcard makers, informal and more formal assessments, and add-ons that will help them with grading. Really love musical apps, Songify and AutoWrap, excellent tools that teachers can use to get their students using those words. A couple more apps, the trading card app, I provide a student example and links, and also Chatterpix Kids. Some examples with websites, links to the lesson plan resources. I provide a how-to guide for how to make visual displays and why a teacher might want to include a visual display in their lesson planning. They make great covers for reports. You can create a vocabulary dictionary if you get a collection of these word clouds. Make a digital artifact for your class library. Use it as an image for your class website or a blog. But it really allows students to express ideas, publish and share their work, and interact with vocabulary. I provide some resources and a how-to guide there that they can link to. Always showing examples. I included quite a bit of research and articles that I use. This is one article that I used extensively to get a lot of ideas. This comes to us from Reading Rockets. I even include a few non-tech tools. There are some ways to turn these into technology-enhanced tools. It never hurts to have a good mix because every student we have to differentiate for them. And so I'm going to exit out of. And so now we're going to take a look at the actual Teacher Toolbox. This is an interactive tool, and I've left it full screen so that you can see all the different tabs and tools in case you were to want to create your own thing link to make an interactive poster yourself. But what teachers will see when they look at this are little tags here that take them to links. For example, As I scroll over this, you see a link to the Summer School Express website right underneath this Power Words icon. I have handouts linked. Video resources are all linked in here. And things are grouped by category. So I have multimedia resources, visual representation, online gaming, and assessments. And so this infographic with a layer of multimedia attachments is the actual teacher toolbox. And included in it is the PowerPoint information, handouts, book resources, research, Marzano's tools and strategies, and some motivation, understanding the 30 million word gap. And so that's a walk through my innovative teacher toolbox. I hope there are things that you might find handy. Thank you.